my name is Jessica and welcome to makeup.misfit. And you guys, I'm so excited to get into today's video, but before I do, this is going up just a little bit late. It's going up same day, just about a few hours or so late, but hey, it is what it is. I'm so excited to finally be able to sit down and film. I have been working doubles lately. I've been working so much, so I really haven't had the chance to do this. But because I haven't had the chance to actually sit down, I've been able to make some extra progress on here. And you guys, I'm so excited to show you where I'm sitting at. I'm so happy with how this palette's looking. If you haven't been following this, go check out my progress from the intro up until now. The playlist will be down in the description box. You're going to want to check it out because I've really enjoyed working on this palette. The last little bit has been a bit of a struggle because of course it was the darker shades that were towards the end of this palette. But you guys, look at the progress that I made. I am so happy that I have a completely finished off palette. This is the very first one, and yes, it may be smaller, but you guys, it was still some work. It definitely took a lot of patience and a lot of work to get this far. I'm very happy with myself, and I actually finished it off this morning. So luckily, that kind of benefited me from not being able to film the last couple of days. So I was able to finish it off for an update or the finale. I am so excited that I was able to do so and that this is gone. Like I said, I really have enjoyed it. I've just been so tired of the dark shades in here lately for the last little bit. So I'm very thankful and happy that it's finally out. But like my very first completely finished off palette, and I'm so excited about that. Like I can finally say that I'm down one palette in my collection. Even though I bought a couple, I am down one palette in my collection, and it's from completely using it up. It's not getting rid of it, not decluttering it, not throwing it out, completely finishing it up. And I have not been able to say that yet. And it's so, I don't know if thrilling is the right word, but it's just so nice to be able to say that I've completely finished off an eyeshadow palette. So that is it. There's going to be no more updates. I don't think I'm going to do another Pen That palette. I know a little while back I was kind of debating it, but I think what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to for sure, at least right now, take a break from adding any additional eyeshadows in. But eventually I think what I might do is add an extra shade into my pan those eyeshadows. But what I think I'm going to do is what I've seen quite a few people do actually, and have a focus palette and then just work on one shade at a time. So I think I might do that because there are still a few other palettes that I'm debating about having as a Pen That palette and focusing on getting out of my collection for one reason or another. So I think I might do something like that, but I don't want to have, it's not that I don't want to have a dedicated video towards it because I really enjoyed it. I loved the idea of having, you know, a separate project for this on its own. But I think I just don't want the pressure of a Pen That palette right now anyways. I don't know what next year's gonna bring. Maybe I'll bring back another mini palette because I do find that the smaller palettes keep me motivated. I'm able to completely finish it off. Finishing this one really makes me want to work on the Solstice and Warm Edit palette. So you never know, if I decide to add in a palette to my Pen Those eyeshadows, those may be the ones. I'm kind of going to work with those two palettes as one because I have finished off a few shades out of my Warm Edit. I have finished off a few shades from my Solstice, and because the pans are interchangeable and they're magnetic and you can just switch them around, that's what I've been doing. So I might just kind of mix those two palettes together and get use on them that way, and then get two more palettes out that way as well, which would just be absolutely amazing to do. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards, and maybe even taking shades from each and kind of creating my own palette until I've completely finished off every shade in both of those palettes. So that may be what I do with Pen Those eyeshadows down the line, but I do want to take a bit of a break, at least for a couple of months, see where I'm sitting at, maybe at the end of the summer or even before then, and then see how I feel about doing a Pen That palette for next year. Now I do have another Pen That palette going on for this year, but it's my panning solitaire, and I do that in a bit of a different way. If you haven't watched that, it is panning solitaire style, so it's a lot more fun where I'm not just like working on an eyeshadow palette. There's a little bit of a twist to it, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. If you haven't seen that video, go check that out as well. I'll have the playlist for that one down in the description box if I remember to throw it in there. But I do still have a palette that I'm focusing on, so I'm not completely finished with the whole pan that palette idea yet. But as for having a completely dedicated video to just working on a palette, I'm going to take a break from that for now. So you guys, I'm so happy. I'm so excited. I cannot believe that I've completely finished off an eyeshadow palette. Again, yes, it's smaller, but these ones still take a lot of work. It's supposed to be 1 gram per shade. 8 grams in the whole palette. I do have palettes that are less than 8 grams, so we'll see how long those ones kind of take if they end up being palettes that I decide I want to pan as a whole in the future. We shall see. I do have some options because I like sticking with these smaller palettes because, like I said, they do keep me motivated to keep on going. And knocking the small palettes out of my collection, it still narrows down my collection one palette at a time. So I'm so excited. So let me know down below if you guys have ever finished off an eyeshadow palette. I know there's people who have, but let me know if you have or if you've come close or how you feel about panning a full palette because I'd be super curious to know. But I am so excited and so thrilled that this one's going to be completely over. So for now, there is not going to be a video posted on the 14th of each month. I may eventually find something to post on this day because I do like to keep my schedule rather not busy, but active and steady. So we'll see if something happens down the line where I might create another project or join another project and have that posted on the 14th of each month. But until then, I'm so excited to say that this project is finally over and we'll see what happens in the future. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all of the support. Thank you for the ideas on how to use these shades. If I have asked and you've given suggestions, I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys all later. Bye.